All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakal Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book of the Bible. All right, so let's get into some news. All right, let's get into what's going on in the world. All right, we are sitting upon our tower, man. All right, to let you know what time we're living in, man. All right, to let you know you people what time we're living in, man. The time when Yahweh Shai getting ready to crack that sky, man. The time of prophecy being fulfilled, man. The mark of the beast, all right, being the RFID microchip and them nuclear missiles flying and Yahweh Shai returning, man. We're living in this. That's the time we're living in, man. All right, this current age is not going to go on for another 1,000 years, couple hundreds of years. Even 10, 20, 30. No, bro. We don't even have 10 years here, man. That's the way it's looking like. All right. But let's get into what's popping. All right. You got this article here from the People's Voice. All right. And the title of this article reads, Trump executive order will force Americans to surrender biometric data or lose their bank accounts. Now, we should all know what this is leading up to, man. All right, we should know. All right, if you've been listening to the prophets, taking heed, all right, to the true prophets of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, all right, which are the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner, all right, because they are the ones that are telling you the truth about the mark of the beast, all right, which is the RFID microchip, all right. This is what this is leading up to, man. Gradualism. Getting you used to living in a digital age, right? So that when the mark of the beast is finally ushered in and made mandatory, all right, you see no problem with it. You think it's just another advancement towards society, right? Oh, yeah, I'll take it, right? Like the brain dead zombie you are, man. All right, these 2/3 are going to be. Right? Anyway, it says Trump executive order will force Americans to surrender biometric data or lose their bank accounts. This is leading up to the MOTB, the mark of the beast being the RFID microchip. All right. It says Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, all right, has confirmed that a Trump administration executive order requiring U.S. banks to verify citizenship for every customer, new and existing, is actively in process, man. This thing is at the door. All right. It is at the door. Right. It says the policy means millions of Americans will have no choice but to obtain and present a U.S. passport containing embedded biometric facial data, or risk being locked out of the banking system entirely. We don't give a damn, man. All right, we don't give a damn about this system anyway. We want to see the system destroyed. The true prophets and the true servants of the Lord don't give a damn about being locked out of the damn system, man. We want to see the system go. We're not of this world, right? See, only the 2/3, right? And these scoffers and scorners, right, want to continue in this place. All right. It says Bessent made the remarks last week, all right, at a sophomore dinner in the CNBC Invest in America Forum. He argued banks must fully know your customer, including legal immigration status, and declared that undocumented immigrants, all right, don't have a right to be in the banking system. Let's continue reading. It says reports indicate the order, all right, would accept passports as the primary proof of citizenship, while real IDs and many other common documents, all right, that Americans have traditionally used to prove their identity do not qualify. All right, and then you have this tweet right here by the Leah Files, right? It says Scott Bessent, all right, collapsed the British pound in 1992, all right, the Japanese yen in 2013, and the Iranian rial in 2025. Is the US dollar next? Yeah. All right. It says that's the whole point, is to collapse the dollar, the entire global economy, to usher in the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. All right, that's the whole entire point of the elites, to bring forth their new world order. All right, and part of that new world order agenda is to enslave the entire planet Earth with their technology, which is the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast that the Bible speaks of. And in order for that to take place, this global economy, the dollar has to collapse. All right. It says the biometric trap. All right. And that's what the mark of the beast is a biochip, an implantable biochip, man. The implantable biomicrochip, man. You know, I've been doing videos on this like crazy lately. You know? Matter of fact, let me go to my YouTube page real quick, right? On my YouTube channel here, right? It says, you know, right here at the top, it says Project Lucid by Tex Mars, right? That's one, all right? Part 3, the mark of the New World Order. Part 2, the mark of the New World Order. All right, and then part 1, the mark of the New World Order. All these videos I have here, you know, going into these books, you know, the engineered chaos in the Middle East, right? You know, right here, part 2, Project Lucid by Tex Mars, Project Lucid by Tex Mars, you know, doing, you know, warning y'all, man, what the mark of the beast is, man. So, you know, we get the blood off our hands. There's no, oh, I didn't know, you know? We should have listened and took heed, man. All right. So we've been telling y'all, all right, the biometric trap. All right. It says every U.S. passport issued since 2007 is a biometric e-passport. It contains an RFID chip. All right. And now the whole point is to get the RFID chip under your skin. That's the mark of the beast. All right. And that no man may buy or sell unless he that have the mark, right? In their right hand or in their foreheads, right? It says an RFID chip that stores your personal data along with a digital facial image specifically formatted for government facial recognition systems, all right? Although applying only requires a standard photo, the photo becomes permanent biometric data held by the State Department, all right? By tying bank accounts to passport verification, all right, the executive order transforms this biometric passport into a de facto national ID requirement for financial survival. All right, let's read that again. It says by tying bank accounts to passport verification, the executive order transforms this biometric passport into a de facto national ID requirement for financial survival. Tens of millions of Americans without a valid passport will now be forced to get one, all right, handing over their facial biometrics to the government in the process. All right, this is not voluntary. It is a compulsory access to your personal biological identifier just to hold a checking or savings account. All right, it says Scott Bessent, all right, Soros protege, all right, prodigy, all right, prodigy, right, protege, right. It says turned Treasury Secretary, all right, protege. All right, Soros' protege turned Treasury Secretary. All right, Scott Bessent is no outsider to elite financial power. All right, he spent years at Soros Fund Management, playing a direct role in the notorious 1992 Black Wednesday raid that netted over 1 billion by crashing the British pound. All right, and forcing the UK out of the European exchange rate mechanism. All right, he later served as chief investment officer under Soros and helped execute other major bets against national currencies, including the Japanese yen. All right, Bessent even launched his own hedge fund with substantial seed money from Soros himself. All right, now as Treasury Secretary, this longtime Soros ally, all right, is the public face of a policy that funnels ordinary Americans into a biometric database through their bank accounts. All right, and that's how it's going to be when, you know, the RFID chip is ushered in and ushered out. All right, all your biometric is going to be a biometric database, man. All right, that RFID chip where your bank account is going to be on there. All information about you is going to be on there. All right, it says the real agenda, building the global digital control grid. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about until it eventually comes down to the RFID microchip, right? It says this is not merely an immigration enforcement tool. It is all right, because that's the guys they use, right? An immigration enforcement tool, right? That's what they claim it to be as, right? But the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord know what's happening, what's going on. We see through the madness and the bullspit, man. All right. It says this is not merely an immigration enforcement tool. It is a critical step in the long planned construction of national and ultimately global biometric surveillance system. Yeah, man. All right, it says by requiring biometric passports for banking access, the government is creating the infrastructure to link every citizen's face, identity, and financial life into one centralized digital profile. Yep. All right, it says this matches exactly what independent researchers and whistleblowers have warned about for decades. Really, this is what the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord have been prophesying about. You know? Starting with the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner, because they're the only ones that teach the truth about the MOTB, the mark of the beast being the RFID microchip, and we constantly push it, man. Right? It says this matches exactly what independent researchers and whistleblowers have warned about for decades: a cashless society where your biometric data becomes the key to every transaction. Yeah. All right. Once your face is digitized and tied to your bank account, it becomes trivial to track, freeze, or deny access to funds based on compliance, social credit scores, or political behavior. The know your customer excuse is cover for building the mark of the beast system, all right, that eliminates financial privacy forever, man. All right, see, even people outside this truth know what's happening, what's going on, man. All right, the Soros connection makes the picture even clearer. For years, Soros and his network had funded open border policies, all right, global governance initiatives, and digital ID projects worldwide, all right, placing one of his most trusted proteges, all right, inside the Trump administration to push this biometric banking mandate is not a coincidence. It is the quiet continuation of the globalist agenda, now dressed up in America First rhetoric. Yeah, you got to see through the madness, man. All right, whether under Trump or any other administration, the end goal remains the same. Yep, total control through biometric identification linked to your money. Yeah, it's gonna boil down to the RFID microchip. All right, it says Americans who value freedom must recognize this for what it is. All right, the slow rollout of a digital prison where your own face becomes the lock on your bank account. All right, the executive order is still in draft form as of April 21st, 2026, but this direction is unmistakable. This is how they build the cage, one security measure at a time. Yeah, quote unquote security, right? Measure at a time, all right? So this is what's going on right now, man. See, the mark of the beast is at the door. The mark of the beast being the RFID microchip. It is at the door. We told you about it. We warned you about it. We're telling you that's what it is, man. All right, because the false prophets will tell you that the mark of the beast is a spiritual thing. All right, they'll tell you that it's not the RFID microchip, but indeed it is the RFID microchip. The elites come out and tell you all the time. You know, the global elitists that sit on the World Economic Forum stage, they tell you, listen, bro. Well, Klaus Schwab said what? Everyone is going to be chipped. All right. Nick Rockefeller told Aaron Russo, they want everyone chipped. You know? Come on, man. You know, what's that one dude? Richard Werner. He's a whistleblower. Said they want everyone chipped. Come on, man. All right. So with that being said, you know, just to put it out there, to warn y'all, man, to let you know what time we're living in, man, to let you know what's happening, what's going on. All right? The mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, man. All right? So with that being said, call Halalyam, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakal Quitash. All right? And Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Ratazah, this lesson is or was edifying. All right, until the next one, shalom, shalom.